Welcome to the Big Bear Homestead. And it's time for a timeout. Hi, I'm Jason from the Big Bear Homestead. And if this is your first time here and you want to learn about everything homesteading, whether it's animal husbandry, gardening, canning, woodworking, essential oils, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and don't forget the bell. So today, we're taking a timeout. Hi, and welcome to Timeout. So what is Timeout? Well, this is a segment where we stop what we're doing on the homestead to kind of catch you guys up on what's been going on here at the Big Bear Homestead. Yes, we're going to talk about you. And we kind of keep you guys, this is a way to keep you guys up to speed on what's going on because, we can't film everything that we do here. So what happened this week here on the homestead? Well, of course, we have our daily chores where we're moving chicken tractors, feeding chickens, feeding pigs and piglets. But we also done some other things this week on the homestead. Yes, Apollo, you help with the morning chores. Yes, everybody knows that. Yes, everybody does. Pay attention. Well, one of the things that we've done is we have started some seeds indoors. Now, what we started this week was our broccoli, our cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. Because see, here in Georgia, we get warm way too fast, and if we were to start them in the springtime or even in March or early April, they would end up bolting on us because we just get so hot so fast. So we start them now, so then that way come February, March, we can put them outside underneath some cover. And then that way by April, May, we'll start being able to collect a harvest and we won't have to worry about those vegetables bolting on us. We also raked up a bunch of leaves and bagged a bunch of leaves in order to make leaf mold. Now, leaf mold does take a long time to make. And so what happens with leaf mold is we bag it this year. Now this spring we won't be able to put it out on our garden. It'll have to wait till the following spring or maybe even the spring after that. It takes a while for that mold and stuff to develop. You bag it, you poke little tiny holes in your trash bag, wet it down. We've got a video on how to do leaf mold. We'll put a card up for you guys to go check that out. But basically, if you guys remember how I always say you want your soil to be having a party, well, leaf mold is just bringing the frat house to the party. Is the simplest way to put it. So we did that. We also worked here in the wood shop a little bit. We've been fixing some odd and end things, trying to make some things for Robin's soap molds and been making Christmas presents. This week was also a week of running errands. We had to run and go pick up bread from the bread store. They gave us a call and said, hey, come and get it. Now what that is we go to a local bread store, and when things have reached a spot where they can no longer legally sell it to the public for human consumption, they call us. We go up and we get like a pickup truck and trailer load for like $30, and we use that to supplement our pigs. This week we also had to go get feed, so we had to go out to the feed mill and pick up some feed. And unfortunately, that's about it. We couldn't really do any trapping because it's been so wet and the ground is so saturated with water that the ground is not suitable to put in foothold traps. I mean, I could go out there and throw them in the ground and it may go off and it may not. And if it does go off, the trap may not fire efficiently enough to where it may cause damage to the animal or an injury, and that animal might be able to pull out of the trap and go away with an injury. And the last thing we want around here is a coyote or a bobcat running around that's hurt and angry. So we just decided to just not set them while the ground is still so wet and soggy. Now, another thing that did happen around here this week is we did do the couples yoga challenge. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys saw that last night when it premiered at 6 p.m. If not, there'll be a card right here for that video. And at the end of this video, I'm going to link the playlist where you can go watch the Aldermans and Breakaways video and anybody else that puts one out. That video, that was Robin's creation. And it was fun. Don't get me wrong, it was fun. I had a blast doing it, but I was sore the next day. And Robin won't admit it, but I think she was sore too. But it looks like everybody that did it, they had a good time. The best thing about that challenge or collaboration, whatever you want to call it, is watching couples laugh at each other, giggle, and everybody just seemed to have a really good time with it. And that's all that we really got done around here this week. I know it wasn't a lot. Sorry to disappoint. It's just the weather has really kind of kept us indoors for the most part. We are excited about the weather this weekend. In our area, they are calling for ice and snow. If that does happen, you may see a lot of GoPro footage come out because we will be going out deer hunting. I love the deer hunt in the snow. And we will also be going out setting a lot of water traps if it snows and ices. And the reason for that is when you go out to a beaver pond or you go out to the swamp and it has iced over, you will be able to see exactly where the beavers, the muskrats, the otters, the channel that they take, because as they exhale underwater, the air bubbles will get caught right up underneath the ice, and you'll see a bunch of little air bubbles. And so we'll go break the ice in that part, slide a trap down, come back the next day, blammo. We'll have a beaver, otter, or muskrat, depending on what it was. So we're super excited about that. Not much really happened in the world this week for me to talk about. We did lose the president this week. President Bush did pass away, and we did have his service this week. It was very nice to see all the other former presidents there with their spouses. President Obama, President Clinton, President Jimmy Carter, and President Trump was there. And there was a lot of moving things that are going around on Facebook about that service. You've got the meme where they got the cartoon of Bob Dole where he stood up out of the wheelchair and saluted one last time. Those kind of things, as funny as that one is, or not really funny, or as impacting as that meme is, I still think there's a part of me that still says, there are some things that you shouldn't make memes about, and that's one of them. And then that meme had him up there, and it said, "Some kneel while others stand." I understand where they're coming from. They're pointing that towards the NFL and the players that kneel. I get it. I'm right there with you. We don't watch the NFL at our house. We haven't watched them in a long, long time. Matter of fact, I think the last professional football game I watched that I was really interested in, I was in my 20s. Now, granted, here we watched the Super Bowl a couple of times, but that was mostly just for the commercials. But I get what they were trying to do with that Mimi. But here's my 2 cents. Some things should be left alone, and that was something that should be left alone. But when it comes to the NFL players, it boils down to this. They were kneeling for their cause during football season, but after the season was over, you didn't hear anything from them. You didn't hear about them going out and participating in protests or marches, or you don't hear about them making commercials about it. You didn't hear about them working with lawmakers or anything like that. They just kind of just disappeared until the season came back up again. So to me, they're taking a knee for whatever cause it is. It doesn't hold any merit. To me, it's just a bunch of children looking for attention by taking a knee during our national anthem. Because if it really meant something to them, they would be doing something about it in the off season. And for that, I do think that the NFL should fine them, if not fire them. But that's just this old homesteader from Georgia. That's just my 2 cents. Well, that's it. Don't forget about our live stream tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when who knows what Robin and I are going to be talking about. And who knows what kind of heated discussion we'll get into. It's always entertaining, so come on by and check that out. Don't forget about us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Come on over and see what kind of stuff's getting posted there. If you missed the Couples Yoga Challenge, you missed the card, the link to the playlist will be coming up in a second. Go check that out. But warning, do not be eating or drinking anything when you're watching any of the videos. And that's all I'm going to say. Well, thanks for coming by the Big Bear Homestead. And like always, have a nice day.